This is the story behind the Book of You. 2 days after I landed in the land of the Maya in February of 2021, it came to me that I had to write this book. It was not something I had been thinking about doing. I was in the midst of creating video content for the online courses that I had been working on for more than a year. Creating those videos had been the entire focus of my attention. But suddenly, I felt a deep compulsion to write this book. It had appeared whole in my mind, as if it was already written. Within a week, I had written over 23,000 words. They just poured out of me, and I could not type fast enough. It felt as if I was taking dictation from the universe itself. And then I just stopped. Full stop. I did not like the voice, the tone of what I had written. It was too cold, too factual, too distant. So I put it aside for a while. And over the next few months, I tried to edit what I had written. But those attempts were dismal. What I had written was just too off-key to simply edit. The message was true, but the delivery was false. I started over, twice. Those attempts were also false, and as a result of those false starts, I began to feel false myself. The fear that I could no longer write a book took over. I cannot do this, I told myself. I am unworthy, unable. What was I thinking? How presumptuous of me to endeavor to write a book entitled The Book of You. I had not, after all, written a complete book in years. Maybe I had spent my creative juices. I should be satisfied with my legacy. The previous books I had written, the online courses I had created, the seminars I had facilitated, the millions of lives my work had already touched. It was enough, I told myself, so stop fussing about it. So I quit attempting to write anything and just relaxed into being in the sunny climes of the Caribbean. And then one day, the pain began. It grew and it spread throughout my body. And when it became too great to ignore, I sought medical help. The diagnosis was cancer, metastasized, they told me. What a cool word, I thought, if used in another context. Like one simple DNA molecule can metastasize to become a complete human being. However, in medical usage for cancer, it is not so cool. It is cold and it is nasty. What the fuck had happened? Cancer? Really? Really. This was so unfair. I had done the inner work. I had experienced the transcendent. I had even touched the infinite, felt its love. I had walked in reverence of the sacred. I had committed myself to being of service, to contribute to the upliftment of my fellow humans. So how the fuck did I create this cancer? And why me? And then, strangely, 2 days after my diagnosis and after further diagnostic tests had reiterated and specified the initial diagnosis, I woke up at dawn and realized that I felt completely at peace. In that moment, I chose to recommit myself to my self-assigned purpose, to revere, to relish, and to contribute. My life's purpose is not just to stand in reverence of the sacred and to relish this great gift called life on planet Earth. It also includes contribution. So, I am ready now to write this book for you. Gestation time is complete, and my heart has been opened enough. I had been attempting to write this with my mind, and that is why it had felt false. And now I know that I must write with my heart and with my soul, that my mind is only the tool I will use to write, not the master of what I will write and how I will write it. As the mystics and shamans have asserted over the centuries, the first step on the pathway to personal mastery is know thyself. The purpose of this book is to remind you of the fullness of your being and to provide you with a vision of the fullness of your potential becomingness. It is also a plea from universe to you to not just recognize the fullness of self, but to co-join with universe in the unfolding journey into a co-created future. And like the universe itself, you are on a journey through life, through time, through space, a journey of discovery, a journey of ever becoming more. In order to successfully navigate this journey and to prosper from this journey, it is best to know from whence you embarked upon this journey. It is also necessary to see and fully understand where you are presently at. Only then will you have the ability to clearly envision a future reality picture of your own choosing. So I write this now to assist you in acquiring that knowledge so that you might come to fully know thyself. This book is about you. I know now that the initial compulsion I had felt those many months ago to write this and to have the audacity to entitle it The Book of You was and remains a plea from universe itself. The task that I have been assigned is to not only convince you of the fullness of your being, but is also to provide you with the means to access that greater you and to establish an intimate connection to the infinite. We exist in a time of great transition. We each have the opportunity to claim our essential sacredness and our responsibility to become the co-creators of not just our own reality, but to participate directly, consciously, and intentionally in the universal imperative to become more. In other words, the universe is asking you to become directly involved in its own evolution by waking up to the fullness of self. And it has asked me, or more accurately, tasked me with the job of convincing you that you are capable of doing this. So, I deeply feel a sense of urgency to impart this message from universe to you and to all those who may be ready to awaken to the fullness of their being. It is not just my cancer and its possible limitation of my time here that brings this sense of urgency. Universe itself is feeling an urgency that you must seize this moment and is providing you with the assistance, both physical and metaphysical, to claim your true birthright, what it means to be a fully self-actualized human being. The intent of this book, this message, is to open a doorway, a portal to your full creative power. In order to open that door, I will need to write about things that you may not normally think about. Some of these things are tough pills to swallow, and some are wondrous and beautiful, like you are when you shine the light of you out into the world. With this book, I aim to empower you to come into a full recognition of your real self, to explain how you came to be here, what your current reality looks like, and how to claim and exert your full creative power. It will be up to you to choose to walk through this door and claim your power in order to effectuate your personal ideals and dreams, and to contribute to our common future. This book of you is made up of 3 parts. The first part is about how you came to be, and what led up to you reading this message from the universe. The second part is about what is going on around you in your world as you read this book. The third part is about what you may choose to enact once you are finished reading this book. Past, present, future. Your past, present, and future. Our shared past, present, and future. All here for you to engage with. Okay, two things need to be said before we get started on this journey into the greater you by reading the Book of You. The first is that even if you were conceived in the back seat of a '57 Chevy by two passionate and careless teenagers, you are not here accidentally. You chose to be here at this specific time in human history in order to participate in this great shift of human consciousness. The second is that even if someone gifted you this book, or you found it lying on some park bench abandoned by another reader, you chose to have it come into your life at this time in order to hear this message. And even if you set it aside for a while, as I did, you will come back to it simply because it is the Book of You. It is your story.